Enter at the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leads to destruction. And there are many who are going through it, because small is the gate, and narrow is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it.
I made a post about obedience over sacrifice and talked about some things that I've learned in a book that I'm currently reading, and Bradley responded, "Great, tonight on I Want to Be an Old Testament Jew." If you think that's a good read, the book, by the way, is Understanding Biblical Law by Drew Johnson. It is a really good read. You don't understand Paul's writings, the sacrifice of Christ, grace, or a new heart. Well, we're going to talk about that. By the way, he's never read the book either, so I don't know how he could judge it. But since he says we don't understand Paul's writing, I'm just curious, are we talking about the Paul that said, for to be carnally or fleshly minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace? Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be. So then those who are in the flesh cannot please God. So those who do not subject themselves to God's law cannot please God. Are we talking about the Paul who said, therefore the law is holy and the commandment holy and just and good? Are we talking about the Paul who took a Nazirite vow in Acts chapter 21 to prove to believing Jews that he was not teaching against the law of Moses? And you mentioned the sacrifice of Christ. Are you aware of the scripture in Hebrews chapter 10 that says, for if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice of sin? Do you understand what sin is? Sin is transgression of the law. Verse 29 says, of how much worse punishment do you suppose will he thought worthy who has trampled the Son of God underfoot, counted the blood of the covenant by which he was sanctified a common thing, and insulted the Spirit of grace? The issue with grace, according to Hebrews 10, is when people just go on sinning, and then they are insulting that grace, just basically saying, well, I've got grace, therefore I'll just do whatever I want. Now, when you talk about this new heart, are you talking about the heart in Jeremiah 31, where it talks about the new covenant and says, this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days? I will put my law, my Torah, in their minds and write it on their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And in Ezekiel 36, do you think this is the same heart that we just read about? When he says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I'll take the heart of stone out of your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you will keep my judgments and do them. Certainly sounds like those who have a new heart are going to be walking in obedience. Now, you say that I just want to be an Old Testament Jew. I just want to clarify, are you aware that there were two kingdoms after Solomon was king? Are you aware that the southern kingdom was Judah, where we get the word Jew, and that the northern kingdom, which represented 10 other tribes, was the house of Israel? They were not Jews, they were actually a mixed multitude. Are you actually aware of this? I know you didn't come here in good faith, Bradley, but I do pray that you actually hear these questions and that you go do some studying and that you try to find the answers to them.